On this episode, I'm going to talk about turning online contacts into real-life relationships. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Carlos here. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, my all-new series in which I interview interesting guests in the world of business and answer your social media questions.
I would love for you to send the Snap This crew a video explaining the feeling you personally get when you have an opportunity to meet people in person for the first time that you've been communicating with virtually on social platforms.
Peter, thank you so much for reaching out to me on Snapchat and asking me that question. I first want to start off by saying that the feeling of meeting someone in person in which the relationship originated online is priceless. I've been on social media now for almost 10 years, and I can tell you that some of the closest relationships that I have today originated on Twitter chats. They originated on LinkedIn. Some of like the best business relationships that I have personally had, which have led to jobs, business deals, speaking engagements, they all started on either LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. So the relationships that you make online are actually worth something. I'm actually gonna share an example with you. Last year, I was in Puerto Rico and I had a follower by the name of Anthony that reached out to me wanting to go ahead and meet me. I was in town for a conference and he kept persisting, he kept insisting for us to go ahead and meet up. And one thing that a lot of folks that do get to know me kind of like behind the scenes or in real life, anytime I'm in a city for a speaking engagement, I love to meet up with you guys. So I will invite folks to meet me either at the conference where I'm at or meet up for coffee, or I like to at least go somewhere and meet up with at least one person. That way I can always go to the next city and feel like, you know what, while I was here, not only did I meet really cool people at the conference I was at, but I met someone that's local too. So going to Puerto Rico last September, I had very, very limited time. So I said to Anthony, meet me at where I'm gonna be on this date at this time. And I happened to be doing a little sightseeing. So lo and behold, Anthony showed up to where I was at. And within minutes, we just clicked. And right out of the gate, he told me that he had consumed a lot of my content. He seemed to know a lot about me. And like he immediately just started adding value. He's like, dude, you need to start speaking Spanish. You need to start getting involved in more Spanish-speaking Latin American countries. You need to start documenting more. So this is September of last year. Well, guess what? Anthony's worked with me very closely on the Hustle Diaries. He's worked with me very closely on helping me up my game on Instagram. So that's like one recent example that comes to mind because, well, first of all, I'm here in the studio and Anthony's right here to my right. So how could I not? But that's like a real example of when you meet someone online, like the impact it can have on you. And in this case, as someone who's been in the game for a while, is a content creator, speaking on stages, like I would encourage any of my peers, make sure that you're listening to your community, make sure you're taking the time to meet them. Now, if it's like on the other side and you follow people like myself through social media, stay on their radar. Like ask them how you can go ahead and help them. Sean Mitchell is another example. Sean Mitchell and I in Denver connected. We went out, we got some dinner, and then he offered to take me to the airport. Like it's little things like that, that like if you just make yourself accessible, then you'll be able to get some face time. Like I've even heard examples. Like most recently, I interviewed Amy Schmittauer at Social Media Marketing World, and she was telling me how she spent 7 minutes with Gary Vaynerchuk giving him a ride to the airport. So like there's these examples over and over, like Amy and Sean and Anthony, that like if you just persistently stay on top of the thought leaders or the influencers or the brands, you'll be able to get some face time with them, but it all starts online. And I say this because oftentimes people will hit me up and it just doesn't feel like natural. It feels like there's like some ulterior motive that they're looking for, and that's never cool. You should definitely treat relationships online no different than you would treat them offline. And I often like to say this, that online, specifically social media, is the bridge between meeting someone on a computer, on your mobile device, and meeting them in person. So you should definitely look to build that relationship up. More specifically, when I mean build the relationship up, comment on their content, share their content. Another example is recently I met Keegan Lanier at Social Media Marketing World. He was actually my guest for the event. And the reason why Keegan was brought out to San Diego was because over a period of time, Keegan has added a lot of value to me personally and professionally. Again, commenting consistently, sharing in my face. Like that's what you have to do. No different than if I myself want to get in front of, for example, like a Tony Robbins to interview him, I had to show immense value to Tony or to whoever that person is, and online's a great way to do it. So hopefully that answers your question, Peter. Keep building relationships, keep contacting others out there, and most importantly, keep adding value. And once you meet in person, it'll feel like you've known this person forever. So hopefully that answers your question, and thank you so much. And that's it for another episode of Real Talk. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to go ahead and ask me a question for a future episode of Real Talk, be sure to visit my website, carlosgil.biz. You can also drop that comment here below. As always, be sure to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk. Peace.